through with what she wanted to do to herself. So she inspired him or provoked him to do that to her. So that was sort of the place that I came from when I was playing it.
Without really knowing where it would end up leading her or not.
I kind of felt like she always knew that she wanted to have that incredibly tragic ending with her soulmate at the end of the day, and I feel like she really connected with him as being, you know, her guy, and the one person that she can relate to on that really dark, horrible, twisted, terrible level.
Casey, you've been playing, you've been on a rather extraordinary run of playing troubled souls. We've seen you in Gone Baby Gone and in the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, and here's another guy who's got some issues.
Long way from smoking cigarettes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about the book is that when I first read the book, I didn't know anything about it, and I sort of met this character, Lou Ford, and I was sort of, you know, was kind of going along with the ride, you know, for the ride with him, and I thought he was going to be the person which, you know, through who we kind of see this story and meet these other different characters. I knew kind of what the genre was, and I had an idea if I was going to. At a certain point, I don't remember when, but it's what it was done. This guy who you've sort of related to, who's telling you this story, and is completely insane, and it kind of takes you by surprise, and then completely insane, and then you start to learn more about who he is, and you sort of, I felt like that Thompson had a pretty good handle on, you know, how much he let you into the character and the mind of Lou Ford, and you know, sort of was toying with the reader a little bit, and I thought that the script did almost as good a job as that, and that's what I liked. I was sort of most excited about playing this person who, on the surface, might seem like they are, you know, I knew people would have a kind of knee-jerk response to, you know, repulsion. Like, there's this horrible guy, kills his women, and does all this stuff, but that underneath that would be the story which you would learn that he was someone who was abused as a kid, who was beaten as a kid, and that there's actually a message in there. Not that the book or the movie, you know, is so pointed, just to be kind of didactic, or, you know, but there are a lot of ideas there that it's not without any thought that the violence happens. At least, really, it's not just laid out to be a kind of, you know, sensational story with some blood and guts and this kind of gory thing. But there was a real reason behind it. And then, looking at some of his other books, I started to feel like there were some themes, some recurring themes, some recurring characters, and that I realized that whatever was happening for Jim Thompson, I don't know a lot about him, but that it meant something to him. That it was that the things he was writing about were personal, and that therefore kind of were authentic. Authenticity would support the movie. It seems pretty good. You don't know if it has legs or if it doesn't, or what you're going to discover. You know, an archaeological dig, I mean, I've never been on an archaeological dig, but it's like you find one little thing and you start brushing away and you hope there's going to be a dinosaur because it looks like a claw, you know, or a foot or whatever. And then, and this seemed like there might be a dinosaur underneath because of those things. And because I trust Michael and seems to have such great taste and has done so many really good movies and seemed like a very thoughtful guy. And when he showed up at my house, I really believed in him, and I thought, okay, there probably is something here that it's going to be the kind of movie that you can live with for 6 months or a year or 2 years, and you'll never kind of hit the bottom. You know, and that and also kind of goes back to the first question about that scene and the violence in the movie. And you know, when we first talked about it, he talked about a movie called Irreversible that was very like incredibly horribly realistic depiction of a rape and very violent scene and some other violence, and we both agreed